Hello everyone, my name's Jack Lee, this is Jack Lee Golf, and these are my top 5 wedges that you can currently buy in 2019. Let's get into it. Right, in no particular order, we've got the TaylorMade Milled grind up first. So 3 bounce options in these. You've got standard bounce, low bounce and high bounce. There is a deep bore shaft. That means that weight has been moved more centrally, so usually we're seeing these type of wedges. There's a lot of weight that comes into the heel, in the neck area of the golf club. That's been hollowed out, bored out, and more weight has been moved more centrally. So this improves the central of gravity of this golf club. The TaylorMade Milled grind wedge is currently retailing at approximately £119. 8620 carbon steel, milled, very soft feel, very good grooves. That's the TaylorMade Milled grind wedge. First on my list, the top 5 wedges of 2019. Next up we've got the Cleveland RTX4. Cleveland are renowned for making great wedges, so it's no surprise that the RTX4 is on my list. 4th generation Rotex face, so this is the 4th time that they've done the Rotex, which is the spin mill type of face. You'd think that doing it generation upon generation that they'll get it even more refined this time, and I think that's the case. Tour shaping, so it's a bit more rounded compared to the other wedges that I might speak about today, but it's been tour validated, so a lot of guys, the Cleveland staffers on tour, have had an input on this wedge and that's what they like to see. Adjusted centre of gravity, so again it's been moved more centrally away from the heel. Bounce options, we've got low bounce, mid bounce and full bounce. We've also, in this wedge, got an extra low, which is kind of designed for your super tight lies or them guys that have got a really shallow angle of attack into the golf ball. The Cleveland RTX4 wedge is currently retailing about £119. A lot of these kind of fit into that price category, so you're looking around about 120 quid for these wedges. Now, speaking of such things as the 4th generation Rotex milling and the deep grooves that are in these wedges, when you go for a wedge fitting, be very aware, because one of the main selling points of these wedges is that they offer the most spin you can possibly get. The thing with spin is that you don't want the maximum. You want to know that you're going to get a consistent amount of spin on each of the shots that you're trying to hit. So when you go for a fitting, if the fitter is kind of saying to you, oh, look at that, you know, you've got 11,000 revs of spin on that one, you've got 10,000 revs of spin. If it's fluctuating massively during your fitting, be aware of that, because that means it's going to fluctuate when you get out onto the course, and you don't want one shot not spinning enough, one shot spinning too much. You want control. That's what these wedges are designed for. So look for consistency and not maximum revs of spin when you go for a fitting for these types of wedges. Right, next up in no particular order, we've got the Callaway Daddy 4 wedges. Grooves have been altered slightly from the Daddy 3, so we've got 20D and 30D grooves. 4 different sole grinds in the Callaway Daddy 4 wedges. We've got the C grind, which is the thinnest sole. We've got the X grind, which is a narrow but high bounce sole in a crescent shape, and the lowest point is near the front, so that's the X grind. W is the wide grind, so we're looking slightly more bounce on that one, and they do also offer a standard bounce as well, which is the S1. Soft carbon steel, so with these being forged, they are possibly one of the softer ones on this list. There is another one later that could be even softer than the Callaway Daddy 4, so stay tuned for that one. You can get these in 2 different finishes, so we've got platinum or matte black, tour validated shape, so you guys like Phil Mickelson, I know he's got his own PM grind, which he has in 64, 60 and 56. However, there's a lot of the Callaway guys that go for the MD4 wedges. Price wise, again, you're looking around £119, so that is Callaway Daddy 4. Right, next up we've got the Ping Glide forged wedge. There is one massive concern with this wedge. It's retailing at £199 per wedge. That is extortionate. I think the cheapest online that I've seen it is around £179, so big concern. Despite this though, Ping are saying that it's their best wedge they've ever made. It's the softest feeling Ping wedge I know for definite that they've ever made, because I don't think they've made a forged wedge up until now, so this could be the first one ever. 8620 carbon steel is that metal that they're forged from. Wheel cut grooves, so again we're looking about maximising spin, those kind of ideas. One cool feature about this wedges, however, is that they are personalised, so you can get customised stamping, you can add little engraved logos into them, you can get them pretty much tailored to however you want them to look. Lots of different colours. One thing I will say about this wedge is if they were priced around the 120, 130 mark, I think they could be the best wedges out today. The only thing that's preventing them not being best wedges that you can buy is that price. So if you've got the money, I mean, because £10 to one person is totally different to £10 of another person. If you've got the money, then go for it. These are a brilliant wedge. If you haven't, there might be better alternatives. Ping Glide forged. Right then, last but definitely not least, I know I said that these were in no particular order, but I think I'm going to have to put these wedges at the top of my list as I'm using them. This is the Titleist SM7 wedge. Features that we're seeing, we've got progressive CG. So the central gravity again has been moved further away from the heel, and depending on what loft you've got, you see the little rudders on the back. That means that the centre of gravity has either been heightened or lowered depending on what loft you've got. This is for tighter dispersions and better spin control, so thinking about those spin control ideas that I touched upon earlier, Titleist are hitting the nail on the head with this. Spin milled grooves. In the 46 degree to 54, the grooves are narrower and deeper. However, in the 56 to 62, they're slightly wider. So again, that is all in the aid of controlling that spin, which I really like about these wedges. Tour validated, which we see guys like Spieth and a lot of other guys are using these wedges. Especially, one thing that I did notice, when Nike disbanded earlier last year, a lot of Nike staffers, when they got the choice to pick any wedges that they wanted, like Rory McIlroy, went to the Titleist SM7, so that's a very interesting point for me. Variety of grinds, we've got absolutely loads. Really good how these wedges, you can get them custom fit just to what you need. There's a video on my channel, I'll leave a link in the description below, of when I went to get fitted for all these Titleist wedges, so have a look at that, make sure you do. You would get fitted depending on your angle of attack, what ground conditions that you've got, all that kind of good stuff. Factor it in and then you'll come out with the best kind of makeup that suits you and suits your game. These retail around $129, however currently at Ickleton we've got a few left in stock, and if you want them we could do them for $119 a wedge, so get in touch, let me know. So there you go, that's the Titleist SM7. So there you go, that was my top 5. Remember that this is totally subjective, these are all my opinions. I would encourage as many of you guys to go out there, test new wedges, see which best suits your game, get fitted for some. Comment below, what's your favourite wedge that is currently out at the minute? I'd love to hear it. And comment below if there's any that I've missed, let me know. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. So like, share and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thanks for watching, till next time. Cheers.